Good evening and welcome everyone to this evening's 2021 Radio Club of America Awards Banquet and Ceremony. Like 2020, we are providing this program as a virtual experience. Tonight, we will recognize the best and the brightest in the radio and wireless industries. We invite all of you to stay for our full program. My name is David Bart. I am Vice President of the Radio Club of America and editor of the proceedings. I will be your host for tonight's program. RCA's awards program is designed to publicly recognize and to honor excellent work by our members and others in all segments of the wireless industry. It is also an event that attendees cherish every year for the opportunity to reconnect with fellow professionals and to make new associations. As we begin, I want to remember those who have passed this year. In our wireless radio tradition, we offer a moment of silence as we recall the silent keys that we were so fortunate to know. We now offer our thoughts to their families, friends, and colleagues. Tonight's program is being directed by our technical team, led by RCA board member and former president Tim Duffy and our executive secretary Amy Beckham and the Sapphire Group. Thank you and the team for all your hard work in bringing us together for what promises to be a terrific evening. For more than 100 years, the Radio Club of America has identified and elevated achievers through the RCA Awards program. For nearly as long, the RCA Fellows Program has showcased RCA members who have not only contributed to the success of the club, but have distinguished themselves with their professional accomplishments. This is our 112th Awards Banquet and Ceremony. Welcome to you all. I would now like to introduce RCA board member and the host of the RCA Technical Symposium, Dr. Jim Breakall, who will begin by introducing the Technical Symposium Awards for 2021.
Thank you very much, Dave, and welcome everybody. And to those of you who did attend the Technical Symposium, it really was a great one today. We had many wonderful speakers. Every one of these speakers could win the award, but we did vote for two. And let me announce who they are. The second place presenter award goes to Audrey Mcelroy, and give her a big round virtual applause. She is Carol's Young Achiever, the RCA Young Achiever, and Carol deserves a lot of credit for inviting Audrey and having her give the talk. She did a wonderful job, and is probably one of the most important things that we do for the youth, because that is the future of the RCA. So congratulations to Audrey. Very, very well deserved. Okay, for the first place presentation award winner, another just fantastic talk today is Colonel Professor Stephen Hamilton from the U.S. Army West Point Academy. And he gave a talk on the HF Renaissance in the U.S. Army, and it was just a wonderful talk as well. Again, we congratulate all the speakers. They all did a fantastic job. They all deserve awards, but these are our two award winners, and I know Carol Perry is just beaming even more that Audrey got the award today. So thank you so much. And now I would like to introduce Bruce Mcgintyre. It's all yours, Bruce.
Can you hear me okay? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Bruce Mcgintyre, and I am the chair of the Awards and Fellows Committee. Awards have always been an important part of the Radio Club of America, and that is why we have this annual awards banquet. It provides the opportunity for the Radio Club to recognize individuals in the wireless industry for achievements and accomplishments in the industry. Each year, members nominate individuals in the industry, whether they are members of the club or not, to receive an award. Next year, we will open the nominations on January 1, 2022, and I invite you to submit a nomination for someone you think is deserving of an award. A list of the awards and the qualifications for the awards are available on our website. Fellows are also an important part of the Radio Club of America. Each year, members nominate another member of the club to be elevated to the position of fellow. Those nominated must have been a member in good standing for at least 5 years and have contributed to the success of the club in an outstanding manner. Once again, the nominations for fellow will open January 1st, 2022. If you know someone who you feel deserves to be elevated, please submit a nomination form. The forms for awards and fellows can be found on the RCA website. So now on with the awards, and thank you.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Bruce. And thank you to all the members of the awards committee for their contributions this year. This year, we are starting the individual awards with our youngest recipient. One of RCA's core missions is to contribute and to serve as an example for the next generation of wireless industry leaders and professionals. A key part of that effort is led by longtime RCA board member Carol Perry. For more than 30 years, both at RCA and with the ARRL and other organizations, Carol has taught and inspired the youth of tomorrow to become engaged in STEM careers using radio as the teaching inspiration. Carol's work with students includes having them develop their own presentations on technical subjects based on their own experiments and experiences in radio and wireless. Next slide, please. This year, Audrey Mcelroy has been selected as an RCA Young Achiever for her excellent presentation at the 2021 Technical Symposium. Audrey is a senior in high school and holds an extra class license, earned when she was only 15 years old. She has combined her interests in biotech, physics, and advanced calculus with her passion for amateur radio to develop many experiments, such as decoding the International Space Station's transmissions using her own automated satellite ground tracking station. She has also developed high-altitude balloon experiments that have reached the edge of space and one that orbited the Earth 4.5 times, all while maintaining periodic telemetry. She is recognized as an expert in high-altitude balloons by numerous organizations, and she has published a white paper detailing her experiments. She has already presented at the American Institute of Aeronautics and Aerospace and at several amateur radio events. And she gave a terrific presentation this morning at the RCA Technical Symposium. Audrey plans on pursuing a degree in electrical and computer engineering. I hope some recruiters are watching this morning's presentation and also this evening's award ceremony. In addition, she will soon be invited to publish her work in the RCA proceedings, following in the footsteps of some other highly successful students that were first introduced to us by Carol Perry. Audrey is the first recipient of the new RCA Young Achievers Scholarship. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the 2021 Radio Club of America Young Achiever, Audrey Mcelroy. Video, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey. Here's the wonderful award I was shipped. Thank you so much. This means a lot to me, and everything I've done with Carol Perry has been so meaningful. She is an amazing woman, and it wouldn't be without her that I wouldn't be here today without her. She has put me in amazing presentations and given me amazing opportunities as well as my family. They're always there to help me out and support me. So thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today and presenting. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Audrey, and congratulations. As we continue with our awards, I want to mention our sponsors. No, this is not an advertisement. It is simply a thank you to the many individuals and companies who sponsored tonight's event. Please see the banquet program and the proceedings for a complete list. On behalf of everyone in attendance, thank you. Several years ago, RCA inaugurated the Jay Kitchen Award in memory of our colleague Jay, who had earned the highest respect for industry and association leadership. His unexpected passing left us stunned. But in his memory, RCA launched an award designed to carry his legacy and memory. Slide, please. Jay Kitchen Award is presented in recognition of achievement of a high level of success leading a wireless association. This year's recipient, Dale Hatfield, spent over 50 years building and shaping telecommunications policy. His efforts and experiences at the FCC and NTIA literally comprise an alphabet soup of acronyms, including time spent as the FCC's chief of the Office of Engineering and Technology and as the chief of the Office of Plans and Policy. Dale, even in retirement from the government, currently serves on several FCC and other advisory councils. He is widely published, and his ITU publication, Trends in Telecommunication, set a new standard for foresight and policy recommendations. Dale has literally been involved with spectrum management issues for his entire career. Today, he is a professor at the University of Colorado and an executive fellow at the Silicon Flatiron Center for Law, Technology, and Entrepreneurship. And he's a director of Crown Castle International Corporation. I've noticed that his biography keeps expanding and may even be doing so as we speak. So I apologize in advance for any errors and omissions. I recently read a transcript from an interview with Dale. He used the word wonderful no less than 13 times to describe his own experiences, the ideas of others, and his life at the FCC. That seems to be a great way to summarize his enthusiasm and his uplifting personality. If you saw today's technical symposium, it was excellent, and of course, wonderful. Thank you, Dale, for participating in it today. It is with great pleasure that I have the honor of presenting Dale the 2021 Jay Kitchen Award for his contributions. Dale, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, David. This reward is especially meaningful to me because Jay was not only a close colleague of mine, but also a very good friend. So thanks again to the RCA for this reward. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Sincere congratulations on a lifetime of accomplishments. Vivian Carr is a legend here at RCA. She broke the glass ceiling in so many ways. Vivian had a long and storied career at Bell Labs and its successor, AT&T, as well as within the IEEE and here at RCA. She could charm, teach, stand fast, and lead, all with an infectious enthusiasm and boundless energy. Her passing left a void for all of us. For me, she is the person who literally put me on the board and inspired my efforts here at RCA. In her memory, RCA inaugurated the Vivian Carr Award to recognize an outstanding woman's achievements in the wireless industry. This year's recipient, without a doubt, carries forward Vivian's wonderful example. Slide, please. Ellen O'Hara has held a range of senior positions at multiple companies manufacturing land mobile radio products. She has served as president, CEO, chairman, and/or served on the board of Citron, iCert, and EF Johnson. and she held senior positions at Motorola and GE Land Mobile Radio. Her efforts have led or impacted the design of public safety dispatch consoles, 9/11 call equipment, and dispatch command and control operations. She was instrumental in developing and growing Zetron's IP technology, its international business operations, and its share of the large systems market in North America. She is a recognized leader in management, operations, marketing, brand management, and sales, with an expertise in engineering and planning. What a powerhouse. Like Vivian Carr, she commands respect and admiration from her colleagues and encourages others to be their best. She is a leader in the race for the cure and in her church, as well as in efforts to provide affordable housing. One of her admirers said that she reflected the image of a leader, a strategic thinker, and was the person that can make things happen. It is with great pleasure that I have the honor of presenting Ellen the 2021 Vivian Carr Award for her contributions. Ellen, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much, David. Thank you, everybody at attending tonight and at RCA. I am truly humbled and honored to receive this award given by such a venerable organization as the Radio Club of America, and named for a truly inspiring person who blazed a trail for women in wireless. Like Vivian Carr, I entered a highly technical field without an engineering degree. And like her, I found satisfaction and joy in working with engineers to address our customers' needs for improved and safer communications systems and products. It has been a truly rewarding 40 years. I appreciate RCA's recognition through this award of what women have brought to the table. I am representative of so many other talented women who have contributed significantly to the wireless industry. And so I thank you on behalf of all of us for this wonderful award.
Congratulations, Ellen, on this prestigious award and on your many contributions to the industry.
Thank you.
I would now like to introduce longtime RCA board member and RCA Executive Vice President, Dr. Nathan Chip Cohen, who will present the next several awards.
Thank you, David. I want to first begin by welcoming everybody and a hearty congratulations to all our awardees tonight and fellows, and a special thank you to Arlene Harris and Marty Cooper, who we're thrilled to have here tonight. I'll be introducing 4 awards, and the first award I'm introducing tonight is the Ralph Batcher Award, which is given for significant work in preserving the history of radio and electronic communication. This year's awardee is Robert Hobday. Bob Hobday, N2EVG, has had a lifetime fascination with electronics since age 12 and has maintained that interest, most notably through work with the Antique Wireless Association through many years of management and effort, helping preserve essential wireless history and to build collections and preservation to preeminence. Robert, congratulations on this year's Ralph Batcher Award, and over to you.
Thanks, Chip, and thanks so much to the Radio Club of America for the Batcher Award. It means more to me than I can ever really properly express. It's important, I think, to note that we can never own historical artifacts or documents. We can only be asked to be good stewards of history. Once history is lost, it's lost forever. I'm very proud of my fellow members of the Antique Wireless Association and the Radio Club of America. I'm grateful for their commitment to good historical stewardship. Remembering and celebrating the dreams, accomplishments, and struggles of those pioneers that came before us is key to appreciating the amazing communication technologies we rely on today. Thanks again to Radio Club for this honor.
And congratulations again, Robert. Our next award is the Jerry B. Minter Award for significant contributions to the electronic art through innovation in instrumentation avionics, and electronics. Next slide, please. There we go. This year's Minter Award is to Don Hume. Don is a communications pioneer. He's responsible for bringing spread spectrum RF technology, wireless alarm transmissions to sensors, and passive infrared detectors to the security industry. Today's innovations by Don see application in intrusion and duress devices, sub-metering transmitters, and IP receivers, among many other applications. Congratulations, Don, on the Jerry B. Minter Award, and over to you.
Okay, thank you, Chip. That's a very nice introduction. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be with you. I am honored to be recognized with this award. You know, I've often been asked how I ended up going down an entrepreneurial path. And I think back growing up, I was interested in all things mechanical and electrical. And I suspect that's probably the same with most of the people that are here this evening. Also, my father often talked at home about the strength of our free enterprise system and how fortunate we were to be in this country. This was back in the days before anybody talked about entrepreneurship, but it was a good background. I was quite fortunate. At 14, I discovered ham radio and got my my ham license, along with a lot of projects and experimentation along the way. Ultimately, that led to my career in electrical engineering. Not a new story, but that's where it got going. After the university in '69, I supplemented my full-time work with part-time efforts outside the aerospace industry and commercial electronics, and that ultimately led to the founding of Colorado Electro-Optics in 1975 and Innovonics Corporation in 1986, co-founded Innovonics in 1986. These companies were both organically grown and were vertically integrated with in-house development, manufacturing, and marketing of products, which was a little unusual. To adapt to enormous changes in technology, competition, and regulatory environment. At any rate, the spread spectrum development was a 15-year process over 3 generations of product. The wireless technology has, in fact, evolved very rapidly in ways we never could have guessed ahead of time. It's moving faster than most of us can keep up with, I must admit. Our world today, as it was 45 years ago, is awash in real world problems. Our media reminds us of this every day, unfortunately. I believe that with change comes opportunity, and the opportunities presented to young entrepreneurs and engineers today are every bit as exciting as those 45 years ago. I remain optimistic about our future, and I believe the communication technology will play a continued key role in our future. I want to thank Charles Kermis for nominating me for the award and Stan Rubenstein for making the recommendation. Thanks to the Radio Club of America, and look forward to meeting some of you in person at some future event. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And again, congratulations. The next award is the Richard Demello Award. The Richard Demello Award is given to an individual in public safety communications who's demonstrated the highest level of personal and professional contact and performance in local and state and national public safety communications. Next slide, please. This year's Richard Demello Award is given to James Goldstein. James Goldstein is an attorney with 30 years of experience in public safety who's worked with the International Association of Fire Chiefs, CTIA, and MPSTC in resolving transportation issues and communications for FirstNet and T-Band, among others, and with dedication to enhancing public safety for first responders and the public. Congratulations, James, and over to you. Yep, you're all set.
Okay, you got me? Okay. I wanted to say that I saw Harlan in the crowd there, And I wanted to thank Harlan for his leadership for years working with me on things. One thing, had been with Motorola for 26 years, and I got involved with public safety. And then when I retired in 2010, I went over to the Fire Chiefs, International Association of Fire Chiefs, in early 2012 and worked there for 6.5 years. So I really want to thank RCA for hosting this and for doing this. And I know Harlan was the first recipient of this award, and I'm really honored to receive this. One thing many of you probably don't know is I was never a first responder. I was a lawyer and then a lobbyist working with public safety. And the biggest honor I've ever had is that public safety brought me in and treated me as one of their own. And it's been an honor. When I left the Fire Chiefs, retired in late 2018, I'm now working with NIPSTIC, the National Public Safety Telecommunications Council, and I'm located right outside of Washington, D.C., as their government relations person in D.C. on a voluntary basis. I want to thank the leadership of NIPSTIC for nominating for this award, which is really a real honor. I would like to mention the executive director, Marilyn Ward by name, who keeps the 16 associations together on some very difficult issues at times, drives consensus, and when there isn't consensus, NIPSTIC won't comment. And I want to thank the staff of NIPSTIC who work so closely with her, because I don't think the staff sometimes gets the recognition that they should get, and they certainly deserve it. So I really am honored by this award, and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. The next award is the USN Captain George P. Mcginnis Memorial Award. Next slide, please. For service and dedication to advancement and preservation of the U.S. Navy cryptology, sponsored by the USN Cryptology Veterans Association. This year's awardee is Master Chief Matthew Zullo. Master Chief Zullo holds 36 years of experience in radio intelligence and cryptology. He wrote his thesis and is extensively published on the famous On the Roof Gang, whose contributions to national security are both hidden and essential. His efforts are being honored today, and again, congratulations to Matthew Zullo. Matthew?
Hi, thanks for those very kind words, Chip. It's very, very nice of you to introduce me with such glowing terms. And thank you to the RCA. A little bit of a funny story. I had no idea I was even nominated for this award. And when Amy Beckham had contacted me, I had no idea what she was talking about. So I was surprised by the award and completely honored. I am well aware of the RCA and its reputation. And I'm thankful to the RCA for this award and for the NCVA to nominate me in the first place. I am familiar with George Mcginnis, very much so. In a lot of my research, I've read a lot of his work, and I am personally familiar with his daughter, who was also active duty in the Navy, as I was during the time I served. I'd like to say that it is an honor and privilege to receive this award, but I also have to say that the honor has to be shared. It is not mine alone. All I did was document the compelling history and stories of the On the Roof Gang, and I have to share this honor with all of the On the Roof Gang. So if it wasn't for the On the Roof Gang, who were the U.S. Navy's radio intelligence pioneers, I wouldn't have had a career in this field at all. So I thank each and every one of them posthumously, of course. And I would invite each and every one of you here today, if you haven't, to do a little bit of research. Look online about the On the Roof Gang. Their stories are simply incredible about what they did. With the smallest amount of resources in between World War I and World War II, to teach themselves the katakana telegraphic code and to how to intercept Japanese naval communications. Their stories are incredible, and I can take zero credit for any of it. But again, I thank you, RCA and NCVA, for this wonderful honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Again, congratulations. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our president, John Facello, who will introduce the lifetime memberships to our special guests.
Thank you, Chip. The RCA bylaws provides for an honorary member who shall be a person of high professional standing who is interested in the activities of the club. The executive committee voted unanimously to make this award to both Dr. Marty Cooper and his wife, Arlene Harris. Both Marty and Arlene have a very long list of accomplishments in the wireless world, probably unchallenged in recent times. Both Marty and Arlene were made RCA fellows in the 1980s, and Marty received the RCA's Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010. They have both started companies, invented and merchandised products, and been a driving force in wireless for decades. Some examples include Great Call and the Jitterbug phone, Dyna LLC, Rethink, SOS Wireless, Arraycom, and the Wireless History Foundation. Many of the things we take for granted in wireless today, these two people helped to create, such as smart antennas, prepaid cellular service, phones for seniors, and subscriber billing systems, to name just a few. It is my great honor to present an honorary membership in the Radio Club of America to both Dr. Cooper and Ms. Harris. Screen, there we go. Wow. Fantastic.
We haven't figured out how this blurring works, but but this is a very beautiful award, and we're both very grateful.
Well, thank you both. Thank you very much. Okay, so each year, RCA at its award event hosts a keynote speaker. This year, we are especially honored to have our keynote given by Dr. Marty Cooper. Dr. Cooper has just written a book, Cutting the Cord: The Cell Phone Has Transformed Humanity. His book chronicles the history of the portable cell phone and the app and some of the impacts on our society. Now let's hear Dr. Cooper in his keynote speech.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for the plug on my book. I am privileged to be here. Congratulations to all of the other awardees. I'm especially delighted to see Audrey get this award. And Carol, congratulations to you. And I hope that Audrey is going to become a member of the Radio Club. Is that part of the, she's much more important than getting an honorary membership to me. One thing I have to tell you is that I'm here under false premises. You know that I have been in my lifetime an engineer, an entrepreneur, all those nice things that were just stated. But there's one thing that's common among all of those things is they're all risky. You know, every time you make an engineering decision, every time you come up with a new product, you take a chance. And the probability of failure is always there. And I've decided I've had enough of that. I've taken on a new career, and my new career is to be a historical futurist. Now you might ask, what is a historical futurist? Anybody want to ask? It's somebody that looks at the past, analyzes it, and cannot be disputed, because the fact is, the past is undisputable. It is history. It has happened. And when the historical futurist looks at the future, it's so far in the future that none of us are going to be there. Nobody can dispute that. It's the lowest risk career that you could ever have, and I have adopted that career. So having said that, let me talk for just a moment about the past and try to say something in the few minutes that I have. And John, I'm going to try to do this really quickly because I know you're behind schedule. It's been now almost 50 years since my colleagues and I introduced the very first portable cell phone. I've got one here, and fortunately this thing gets blurred, and I don't have to say anything about this because I know everybody here recognizes this huge thing, which had a battery life of 25 minutes, which was no problem at all because it weighed over 2 pounds and you couldn't hold it up for 25 minutes. So a lot has happened in the last 40 years since the cell phone, the portable cell phone became commercial. It has been revolutionary. It's been revolutionary in places very different than what we're used to here, where everybody is looking at their cell phones and playing games and working on social media. In the emerging countries, the cell phone today is revolutionizing healthcare, education, and it has taken literally billions of people out of poverty. That fact has been recognized by the United Nations. We're only starting to see the revolutions that are going to happen. And I just want to address one of them now and talk about our priorities today and how perhaps we have lost sight of what's important and what is not important. Because the most important thing that the cell phone has done is improve the possibility of people getting appropriate educations. Our education system has really not been very good. It doesn't use any of the principles of learning. And now for a teacher to stand up in front of a class and relate facts to them doesn't make any sense at all. If you think about it, they all have access to all the knowledge in the world on their cell phones. They don't need a teacher to teach them those things. The teachers have to teach insights. They have to teach them how to use the tools. They have to teach them ethics. They have to teach them what their career opportunities are. But the serious problem that we've got is that you cannot get a proper education today without having access to the internet and without having it accessed wirelessly. We have finally convinced people that having cable is not adequate. You have to have access to the internet wherever you are, and you cannot get a proper education without having that. Having said that, over 40% of our students today do not have access to any internet, and certainly not to wireless internet. There are two main reasons for that. And one reason is that they live in rural areas or any place where they don't have coverage. And the second reason is they can't afford it because our wireless service, internet service, is so expensive that they simply cannot have the funds for it. That's you wonder, why did that happen? I think possibly one of the reasons is that our priorities are wrong. Think about the fact that what's the most exciting thing that's happening in wireless today? Anybody want to take a guess? I know you're all muted. I'll answer for you. If you believe the propaganda, I have to phrase it that way, you would think that it's 5G. Anybody agree with that? Raise your hand. I want to know who I should ridicule on this. Yeah, John, you are brave. But Charlie, that was great too. What does 5G offer humanity today? First of all, I want to point out to you what my definition of technology is. Technology is the application of science to create products and services that make people's lives better. Without the people part, it really is not technology, it's curiosity. So I first of all want to tell you that I am not at all opposed to 5G. My comments today have to do with a balance of our priorities. How can we be promoting a technology that is going to be important in the future and neglecting our real future, which is our students, people like Audrey. And what does 5G have to offer us? Well, huge bandwidth. Wait a second. What are we going to do with these hundreds of megabits per second? Well, we're going to talk to each other. We're going to look at the internet. We're going to get facts. All of those can be done with relatively small amounts of bandwidth. You can even get virtual reality with tens of megabits per second. Nobody needs a gigabit per second for their personal use. Someday that will be true. We will have forms of virtual reality where it will take those bandwidths, but we don't need that now. How about latency? May I ask you all, when was the last time you had personally a latency problem? I'm not sure. I'm sure I know exactly what latency is because I get various definitions for that. So the bottom line is that the emphasis is in the wrong place. There is technology existing today that allows us to cover rural areas at a cost low enough so that business people can make money at it. Do we have to do things differently? Well, of course. We may have to provide some incentives, but those incentives are so easy to provide. Why do we charge people for spectrum in the rural areas? There are tons and tons of spectrum, and our allocation system actually gets in the way of progress. There ought to be a way of giving spectrum, assigning spectrum at no cost to any entrepreneur that provides service at a low enough cost. And I would define low enough cost as something like $5 a month. The technology exists to do that. In fact, it's the same technology that they're using for millimeter waves. As you all know, millimeter waves, we're talking about multi-gigabits per second, but at tens of gigahertz in the frequency spectrum. The same technology that's used to focus energy and to take these millimeter wave frequencies and try to get them to penetrate buildings and to go more than a few hundred feet can also be used to stretch the range of rural systems so that you can cover tens of miles at very low cost. The second thing that you can do to incentivize people to do that is to provide them with sites free of charge. Well, every school, every library has got a site built in. Why don't we allow entrepreneurs to have those sites and to provide those services at low cost? So I would hope that those of you that are in positions, decision-making positions, and those of you that can influence the decision makers will take on this opportunity. We have the opportunity to solve the educational problem. I have to tell you that the students who do have access to the internet, who are taught properly how to use that access, are going to end up being smarter than we are. And the students that don't have that access are going to be in a different class. That's unacceptable. We cannot have a multi-class society with the people who've had the opportunity and the advantages of internet access and call the other ones dummies. That's just unacceptable. So I'm here not to dismiss 5G. I think 5G is important. I think that we should create our priorities that recognize the fact that it is people that are going to create the future, the people that are going to take advantage of these technologies, people that are going to solve the polarization problems that we have today that are just totally also unacceptable and are getting in the way of progress. So that's my message for today. The multiple revolutions that the radio has introduced, that cellular telephony cellular technology is magnifying today are just beginning. We are going to solve many, many problems. We are going to revolutionize healthcare and bring healthcare to people that have never experienced it before. The concept of collaboration is going to make everybody wealthier and solve the poverty problem. But it won't do any good if we don't have the smartest people around that we can have. And it's going to take internet access to do that. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. It's an honor to both get the Lifetime Award and to be in the presence of the distinguished members that are here today. Thank you very much.
Marty, that was really, really good. We have just a little bit of time for one question that's come up. What advice would you give to a young person just starting out in wireless or in some other STEM-related field?
I have to tell you what the most important thing I had to make this personal. What the most important thing of my life is, the only thing distinction I have in this group is that I'm the oldest person here. It's really a hard thing for me to say that when I was a youngster, I was always the youngest guy around. And suddenly I became instantly the oldest person around. I don't know whatever happened to the middle part, but the most important thing in my life today is learning. It's keeping an open mind. It's seeking out information. It's trying to stay ahead of everybody else. And so I would advise any youngster to focus in. Don't try to decide now what your future is going to be. Look at the things that you find interesting, dig into them, and learn how to learn. The scary part of that is if you stop learning, you lose the ability to learn. I would hope that everybody here recognizes how scary that is. And I am still learning every day. And my hobby now is to try to figure out how the brain works. And that is a really neat aspiration, because that's something that nobody else knows, including me. There are not many things that I can say in that way. So I think that was a wonderful question this person asked me. Don't try to figure out what your long-range future is. Try to understand as much as you can. Immerse yourself, learn something very well, and that will stand in great stead for the rest of your life. And thanks again for everybody for your patience and listening to me.
Thank you so much, Marty. Those were words of wisdom that we need to all think about. Okay, Margaret.
Thank you, John. What a wonderful presentation from Marty Cooper. I'd love to gush on about how privileged we are to have Marty speak at our awards banquet, but the timekeeper says we must move on. As Bruce noted earlier, each year, RCA elevates to fellow a small group of members whose contributions to the art and science of radio communications or the Radio Club of America are deemed outstanding by the club. The 2021 class of fellows is as follows. Jeffrey Knight, for contributions to public safety communications, including FCC frequency coordination, emergency communications center design and maintenance, and wireless public reporting systems. Dennis Marin, K6OLU, for over 50 years of dedication to land mobile radio as an amateur operator, radio technician, systems engineer, and on NIPSTIC working committees. Margie Mullen, for work in broadcast radio as on-air talent and in public safety communications, beginning as a 911 telecommunicator, rising to director of Jackson County, Oregon Emergency Communications Center, and currently serving as APCO president. Jorge Saad, XE2JAS, for dedication to providing state-of-the-art communications products throughout the Spanish-speaking world. Donald Whitney, K9DRW, for contributions to public safety communications as telecommunicator, customer advocate, and communications volunteer for local emergency management agencies. Jane Winter, for contributions to the wireless industry within government, commercial, and aerospace segments, and for her dedication to the Radio Club of America, serving on several committees and the board of directors. Responding on behalf of the RCA Fellows Class of 2021, I present Jane Winter.
I am honored to accept the Fellows nomination on behalf of this year's RCA Fellow Class. Actually, I'm quite humbled by my esteemed colleagues. The criteria to be elevated to Fellow includes demonstrating outstanding contributions to the art and science of radio communications or broadcast, or to the Radio Club of America. Well, if being outstanding is a requirement, this Fellow class sets the bar quite high. Don Whitney, K9DRW, spent 34 years at Motorola across all product sectors. He continues his part-time retirement work as Senior Communications Site Inspector Auditor for HICAPS, inspecting dispatch centers and antenna sites all over the world. See what I mean? Outstanding. Margie Mullen started her career as a DJ in both country and top 40 music at an FM radio station. That was just a taste of radio. What transitioned into a job at 9/11 Telecommunications Center spanned into a 31-year career dedicated to the 911 profession. Margie catapulted up the ranks all the way to the highest level, president of APCO International for the 2020-2021 term. She is quite an inspiration. Fellow classmate Jorge Saad has been selling professional two-way radio systems for the last 45 years, mostly wholesale Kenwood and ICOM radios for his companies, EPCOM in the US and Syscom in Mexico. Jorge, XE2JAS, received his ham radio license in 1965 in Mexico. He has since moved to El Paso, Texas, and wants to get his American license to operate an HF station from that location. The drive does not stop with this group. A veteran of over 5 decades in the land mobile communication industry, fellow nominee Dennis Marin worked his way up the ranks from technical systems, project engineer to general management at what is now known as Motorola Solutions. After retiring from his 25-plus year career at Motorola, Dennis worked for the County of Los Angeles, and after his most recent retirement, again, he retired from the County of Orange Sheriff's Department Communications Division. He has since established a new business venture as an industry consultant. The actual concept of retirement doesn't seem to stick with this group very well. Doesn't anyone besides me need to work on their golf game? Each of the recipients has demonstrated an expansive, outstanding, or contribution to the wireless industry. Whether we got here because of an organizational tie or a personal connection, each of us touched our wheels down at the Radio Club of America. On behalf of Don, Margie, Jorge, Dennis, and our fellow 2021 inductee Jeffrey Knight and myself, we are honored to receive this nomination from the RCA. And we are proud to continue our dedication to the wireless industry and serve as fellows for the world's oldest wireless society, the Radio Club of America. Thank you.
And thank you, Jane. We're going to have John come back. Each year, RCA provides special recognition to individuals who have made particular contributions to RCA. John Fasella, our current president, will now make the President's Awards for 2021.
Thank you, David. Beginning in 1974, the Board of Directors directed the President to select an individual who has, in the opinion of the President, demonstrated unselfish dedication to the work of the Radio Club of America. This was an amazing year for RCA, and frankly, it was impossible to pick just one person. So for this year, we have 2 awardees. The first President's Award goes to Tim Duffy, a former RCA president who actually received the same award in 2015. Despite running a major amateur radio business, being an avid ham radio contester, and a regular YouTube presenter, just look at how many YouTubes he's got, Tim has found the time to moderate our virtual RCA interview and networking series. These were started a year ago to overcome the isolation our members felt because of the COVID pandemic. Tim has continued to moderate these events very effectively, and each time they continually remind us of the benefit of RCA membership. Without Tim, we would not have been able to provide networking to our members during the pandemic. As if that were not enough, Tim moderated RCA's technical symposium and our awards event, both last year and this year. Tim, thank you for moderating all of these events month after month, plus our two big events in November for the past 2 years. These events have provided untold value to our RCA members. Therefore, I would like to present to Tim, President Emeritus Tim Duffy, the 2011 to 2021 President's Award.
Thank you, John. It is a great pleasure, and I'm humbled by your award, and I look forward to the future. Being here in the same Zoom with Marty Cooper and the rest of my RCA family, and I do mean that. The RCA family has been very good to me, and I can only hope that I give back as much as I have gotten. Thank you, John.
You're very welcome, Tim, and thank you for all your contributions to RCA. The second President's Award for this year goes to Alan Spindell, our Scholarship Committee Chair. Alan willingly took on this job at the beginning of the year. Although not a board member, and despite getting sick from COVID, Alan slogged through a lot of history and records, talked to numerous individuals, including the donors of all the scholarship funds we have, and then Alan put together a brand new program. So now, in addition to our named family scholarships, we have a new educational grant that is awarded to one of Carol Perry's young achievers each year. This grant helps to push those school youth to the next level at college. Updating our scholarship program took hours and hours of time, but Alan completed the task. Alan, as a result of all your hard work on the Scholarship Committee, I would like to present you with a 2021 President's Award. Alan? Alan, you want to say something?
Thanks, John. I'd like to thank you personally for this award. But more than that, I'd like to thank John for the hard work he's done in reimagining not just the Scholarship Committee, but the entire business practices of the club. John, thank you. The club thanks you, and I raise my glass to you, sir. You're a hell of an engineer.
Thank you, Alan. Very kind of you. I'm not drinking till after this is over.
Most importantly, I need to recognize my co-chair, RCA Counsel Barney Shull, who's also worked tirelessly to wrangle the legal complexities of our modernization program. Additionally, I have to mention Carol Perry, Drs. Brakall and Urbina, and the other members of our committee, and especially the good work of Treasurer Ron Jakubowski, whose insight and guidance have changed the course of financial aid here at the Radio Club as we move into the club's second century. Nights like these and awards like this are only possible if our profession continues to train a new generation of wireless professionals. Our new combined legacy funds under the Captain William Finch RCA Legacy Fund and our new fund, the RCA New Century Fund, provide members a new way to honor the legacy of loved ones or to help the club do its part to help high school, vocational, international, and graduate students become the successful wireless professionals of the future. Get with John Fasella, Ron, Amy, myself, Barney. If you're interested in contributing to these funds, we all need to do our part to ensure the wireless profession continues with the level of professionals that we have now. Thanks again, John, and thank you for the club for this opportunity.
Thank you, Alan. Very nice words. Okay, so I have a few remarks. to end my portion of it. This year has been an exciting one. We focused very much on delivering more value to our members. Just an example, the fall proceedings just came out, 112 pages of interesting articles. That has got to be a new record. Thank you, David, Bart, and Amy for that. Our RCA website has been updated and new material has been added. Through 2 surveys, we discovered what our members wanted from RCA, and we are executing a number of new programs as a result. For example, we are developing wireless educational training modules through Dr. Urbina and a mentoring program for new people in the industry, as well as those that are in mid-career. We are also celebrating the achievements of RCA radio amateurs 100 years ago in first communicating across the Atlantic. You heard about some of that during the technical symposium. The result of this was a century of wireless development that helped create 5G smartphones, satellite internet, and Bluetooth, all technologies that we today use and enjoy. We started this celebration with an amateur radio event last week, and reenactments of this event are planned in December. Go to the RCA website for details. Next year, I'm pleased to say our technical symposium and awards banquet will be in Atlanta, and we are planning that to be a physical event. But we will also have a virtual component for those that cannot travel. In Atlanta, we will get a chance to see how a major engineering university is educating future engineers. And now a fun item. As a result of Marty and Arlene's generosity, we are going to award some books, Cutting the Cord. Up to 9 are going to students, but 40 will go to RCA members. Marty's books will go up on the website after the end of the awards tonight. We are asking for a donation of at least $100 or more. You must be an RCA member, only 1 book per person, and we don't have more than 40 books. All of these books will be personalized, thanks to Marty. And once the 40 books have gone, that's all we have. Finally, I want to offer thanks to Professor Jim Breakall and his entire Technical Symposium Committee. This was a home run today. President Emeritus Tim Duffy and all of his moderators for hosting this and the Tech Symposium. Amy Beckham and the Sapphire Group, they're the wheels that turn behind the scenes and make all of this happen. President Emeritus Mercy Contreras, who helped me in innumerable ways for this event, our RCA board and all our RCA members, and our sponsors. In closing, it has been a truly amazing day and evening and a fast-moving year. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Have a happy Thanksgiving, a joyous holiday season, and a happy New Year. Thank you for your membership and participation in the Radio Club of America, the world's oldest society of wireless professionals.
Thank you, John, and congratulations to our many award recipients. As we near the end of our 2021 awards ceremony, I want to inform you of several upcoming events, some of which John just mentioned. On December 11th and 12th, RCA and several organizations will embark on a worldwide celebration of the 1921 transatlantic tests. These tests were made by RCA members in conjunction with the ARRL and other companies and organizations. These tests in many ways launched the modern radio era. Please see the current issue of the proceedings and the RCA website for more information about the history and the scope of the original tests and the centennial activities. We invite all of you to participate. As John mentioned, next year's awards banquet is planned for Atlanta. We do sincerely hope for that event to be a live event, so place it on your calendars now. Our technical symposium, banquet, and awards ceremony almost always occur the weekend prior to Thanksgiving, so this is easy to remember. Next, I want to give a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Without you, RCA could not continue bringing the industry our many programs and activities. I especially want to thank ICOM and Dr. Marty Cooper for their contributions to RCA. ICOM, our former board member Ray Novak, has contributed a radio for the participants raffle, which will occur in just a few minutes. And Dr. Cooper has contributed signed copies of his book, as John just explained. These will be for sale through the RCA website as donations. I encourage all of you to visit the website and purchase Dr. Cooper's book, but also to stay in touch with our current activities and offerings. Next, we have heard you, our membership, about your request for printed copies of the RCA proceedings. Please see the website in the next few weeks, and the new process for obtaining them will be announced. Finally, I want to especially thank our technical team and the volunteers and sponsors who brought you tonight's awards ceremony, especially Amy Beckham and Tim Duffy. Without your endless commitment of time and resources, we could not have assembled and celebrated our 2021 award recipients. Thank you also to the many presenters this evening who took the time to call out our award recipients for their special recognition. Recordings of today's activities will get placed on the RCA website sometime in December. At long last, it's time to announce our ICOM Participation Award recipient. All evening, RCA has been tracking those who are logged into our program. Thanks to the ongoing support of ICOM and our former board member, Ray Novak, RCA has placed everyone into a raffle to win the ICOM radio. Amy, take it away.
Thanks, Dave. The winner of the ICOM IC705 is Tom Troxel. Tom, please email me your information. I have it in a box right next to me, and I'm happy to send it to you.
Congratulations, Tom, and thank you, everyone, for your participation this evening. Thanks and congratulations to all. This has been a terrific evening, and on behalf of RCA, board, and the membership, we congratulate everyone who received an award or was named as a new fellow. Thank you to all our guests who participated this evening. We wish all of you a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and we invite all of you to participate in upcoming RCA events. For those who may recognize this famous radio sign-off, this is RCA. Good night and good luck.